Right, so welcome. And if you're new here, well, I guess we're all new here because this is week one. My name's Alan Bark, and this is AI Weekly, the show where I go down a rabbit hole of all things artificial intelligence, so you don't have to. Every week I pull up stuff that actually matters to people like us, small and medium business owners, the people that are keeping the lights on, doing the payroll, chasing invoices, running your marketing, and somehow still trying to find time to grow. We're not here for tech nerds. We're here for business owners. And right now, this week, it's been a big one, I've got to be honest with you. Genuinely. I've been in this space for a while now. I've been following AI intently. And this week has definitely felt different. Because one of the biggest AI companies on the planet basically looked at small business owners and said, yeah, this one's for you guys. So we're going to get into all that. We're also going to get updates from OpenAI, who have just upgraded the brains inside ChatGPT. Microsoft Copilot is doing something genuinely clever. And Perplexity, which I want more of you to know about, has done something a little bit mad, but in a really, really good way. So let's get into it. So let's start with Claude for small business. So this is a big one. This literally dropped 6 days ago on the 13th of May. And I think it's one of the most significant things that's happened for small business owners in the AI space, but possibly ever. I know that's a bold claim. I know, but stick with me. Anthropic, the company behind Claude, launched something called Claude for small business. Now, when I first saw the headline, I thought, oh, great, another enterprise product, and they've slapped a word small on it. It costs a fortune and does absolutely nothing useful. But no. This is actually the real deal. See, here's what it is. If you're already a Claude subscriber, which starts around about, I think it's £20 a month, you now get this thing called Claude Cowork. And inside Cowork, there's a toggle, a literal toggle. You switch it on and off, and suddenly Claude is inside your existing business tools. We're talking QuickBooks, PayPal, HubSpot, Canva, DocuSign, Google Workspace, Microsoft 365, Slack. The list goes on and on and on. These are tools most of you are probably already paying for. And now Claude can work inside them on your behalf. Not just chat, actually do stuff. And here's the bit that really, really got me. They've built 15 ready-made workflows. Jobs that Claude already knows how to do. Things like invoice chasing. It identifies overdue invoices, drafts chasers, and asks for your approval before it sends anything. Month-end closes, goes into QuickBooks. It reconciles against your PayPal statements, flags any mismatches, and gives you a plain English summary. You can just forward that to your accountant. Payroll planning, pulls your cash position, looks at what's coming in from PayPal, and gives you a 30-day payroll forecast. Lead triage. In HubSpot, it works out which leads are worth following up on and prioritises them for you. Marketing campaigns, it'll find slow periods in your revenue data, figures out the right campaign, writes the copy, and generates the Canva assets all in one go. I mean, come on. That's not just AI, that's a virtual operations manager. And before you ask, because I know what you're thinking, no, it doesn't just go off and do all this stuff on its own. It stops and asks for your approval before anything gets sent, posted, or more importantly, paid. So you're still in the driving seat. It just does the tedious preparation work. The other thing I love about this is it's not extra. Anthropic confirmed there's no additional charge beyond your existing Claude license. It's already in the tool. The president and co-founder of Anthropic, Daniela, said something I thought was brilliant. She said small businesses make up nearly half of the American economy, but they've never had the resources of bigger companies. AI is the first technology that can finally close that gap. Now, she said, American economies, UK economies, but this applies to us here just as much as in America, are the backbone of the economy too. And for the first time, we've got access to the kind of operational horsepower that previously only the big corporate players could afford. If you use any of these tools I mentioned, QuickBooks, HubSpot, Canva, I genuinely think you should open up Claude this week and have a look at this. Now let's move on to ChatGPT. So the people behind ChatGPT have been busy. So the biggest thing they've done this week is launch GPT 5.5 Instant as a new default model inside ChatGPT. This replaced the previous version on the 5th of May. Now, what does that mean in plain English? It means that a version of ChatGPT everybody's been using just got a significant upgrade. And you didn't have to do anything, it just happened. So what's actually better? A few things that matter to us, right? First, and this is massive, there's fewer hallucinations. Hallucination is the technical term for when AI just makes stuff up with complete confidence. It's the thing that gives AI a bad name. OpenAI says GPT 5.5 Instant provides 52% fewer hallucination claims compared to previous models, particularly in areas like law, medicine, and finance. That matters because if you're using ChatGPT to help draft contracts, write product descriptions, look up regulations, do financial planning, you need it to get it right and not just always right. It's got to be a lot more reliable than it was. Second, the answers are shorter and more direct. Less waffle, less great question. I'd be happy to help you with that. The energy, it's just the answer, thank you. Third, the memory's got smarter. ChatGPT Plus and Pro subscribers now get what they're calling memory sources. Basically, when you ask ChatGPT something, it can now show you, excuse me, which past conversations it used to shape its answer. So if 6 months ago you were told, you told it about a pricing structure and today you asked it to write a quote for a client, it can actually pull that in context. And then the other thing OpenAI launched, this one just dropped on Sunday the 18th, which is basically yesterday, is a personal financial dashboard inside ChatGPT Pro. You can connect your bank accounts and investments, and GPT basically becomes your personal financial assistant. Now that's US only for the moment, so I'll keep an eye on that, and when it comes to the UK, I'll let you know. But the direction of travel is absolutely clear. These tools are moving from being clever chatbots into being genuinely embedded in how we run our lives and our business. Now, the multi-AI machine. This one's really interesting because it affects a huge chunk of you. Anyone who's running Microsoft 365, that's Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel, the whole lot. Microsoft has been doing something quite clever. They've been turning Copilot, their AI assistant, baked into Microsoft 365, into what I would describe as an AI orchestra, right? Because here's the thing, Copilot now doesn't just use Microsoft's own AI. It routes your requests through whichever AI is best suited for the job. That includes Claude from Anthropic, includes GPT from OpenAI, and Gemini from Google. So when you're in Excel and you ask Copilot to analyze your sales data, it might use one model. When you're in Word drafting a proposal, it might use another. You don't have to think about it. It just picks the best tool for the task. They've also launched something called Copilot Cowork, which funnily enough mirrors what Anthropic just did with Claude. It lets Copilot handle longer, more complex, multi-step tasks inside your Microsoft apps. So instead of helping you with one thing at a time, it can manage the whole project. Now, if you're on a Microsoft 365 business plan already, a lot of this is coming your way without you needing to do much. The big question is whether you've actually turned Copilot on and have started using it. If you haven't, have a dig around in your settings. You might already be paying for something you're not using. So, moving on. the Google Workspace Power Up. Quick one on Google, but it's worth mentioning because a lot of you are using Google Workspace shops. Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Drive, Google's AI Gemini is now running on version 3.1 Pro. And the big thing they've added is agent mode, which basically means Gemini can now handle multi-step tasks on its own inside your Google Apps. So picture this. You tell Gemini, find all the emails from our top 10 clients this month, summarize what they're asking about, and draft responses to any outstanding queries. Excuse me. And it just goes and does it across Gmail, across your Docs, across your Drive. That's not science fiction. That's Gemini 3.1 Pro right now inside Google Workspace. If you're a Google shop and you're not using Gemini yet, just go into your Google Workshop settings and have a look for the Gemini features. It's all built in. Now, this is the one that everybody's sleeping on, Perplexity. I want you to spend a couple of minutes on Perplexity because I think it's massively underrated in the small business space. Most people think of it as a search engine, and yet it started out that way. It's brilliant at searching the web and giving you proper sourced answers, which is something your standard GPT doesn't always do. But this week, they launched something they're calling Model Counsel. And this is a bit that made me actually laugh out loud when I read it. Model Counsel is a feature where when you ask Perplexity a question, it doesn't just use one AI. It runs GPT 5.4, Claude, and Gemini simultaneously, and then synthesizes where they agree and where they disagree, and what each one uniquely brings to the table. So for a business decision, say, I don't know, you want to expand into this new market, or there's some research you want to do, or is this supplier pricing reasonable, or stress testing a business plan. They're not just getting one AI's opinion, they're getting a panel, 3 of the smartest AI systems on the planet, debating each other and giving you a consolidated answer. I tried this for a business scenario this week, and honestly, it's one of the most useful things I've used in months. The other thing Perplexity's done is they've made Comet, which is their computer using AI agent, available on iPhone, Android, Windows, and Mac. So now Perplexity can browse the web, do research, and actually execute tasks on your computer on your behalf. And here's the kicker. For a lot of Perplexity users, some of these features are either free or included in the existing Pro subscription. So have a look. Have a look at perplexity.ai. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to do my favourite bit, which is the art of the possible, because sometimes the updates sound impressive, but you're sitting there going, yeah, what's that actually mean for me? What does that mean for my business? So here are 3 things you could actually do this week, today, with what I've just told you. Number 1, the invoice audit. If you're using QuickBooks and you've got outstanding invoices, and let's be honest, most of us have, open up Claude, switch on the small business mode, and use the invoice chasing workflow. You'll know within minutes who owes you what, how overdue it is, and Claude will draft the chasers. You approve it, it sends. I reckon for most businesses, that alone is worth the subscription cost. Number 2, the competitive intelligence brief. Open Perplexity. Use Model Counsel. Ask it. I run describe your business in Chester or your town. What are the 3 biggest threats to my kind of business right now? And what are the opportunities? Give me perspectives from multiple angles. You'll get back something that would have taken a consultant a week and cost you thousands in about 90 seconds. Right, number 3, the content sprint. If you're behind on your marketing, and who isn't, try this. Tell ChatGPT your business, your audience, your goals for the next month. Ask it for a full month's content calendar across social media, email, and your website. Then use Claude's Canva connector to generate the virtual assets. Done. Your next month's marketing. Sorted in an afternoon. This stuff isn't hypothetical. It's real. It's available. And most of it is already inside the tools you're paying for. Right. That's your week in AI. It's a big week. Probably the biggest for small business owners I can remember. The headline, Claude for small business, is a genuine game changer if you're using QuickBooks, HubSpot, or any of the other tools I mentioned. OpenAI just made ChatGPT smarter and more honest. Microsoft Copilot is now an AI orchestra inside Microsoft 365. And Google's Gemini is doing multi-step tasks inside Google. Workspace. And Perplexity Model Counsel is like having 3 senior advisors argue on your behalf. As always, all the links are in the description below. If this was useful, give it a like. It really does help the channel grow, and it means I keep doing it. And if there's a specific AI tool or a use case you want me to dig into, drop me in the comments. I read every single one. I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care.